just talk a little bit about your upbringing, pre-Bitcoin family, and where you came from.
I just came from a very normal, warm-hearted family. My father was a professional football player, soccer, I think you say in the United States. So he was a soccer player for you, uh, and he wanted his son to be a soccer player, a professional soccer player. So I started training when I was 12 years old, and I got better and better and better, and then I ended up at the professional league. And I did that. My mentality was a little bit different at that time already. I was not the guy that wanted to listen to the coach because I knew better. At least I thought I knew better. And so that soccer career ended very soon when I was in the 20s, and get to know girls and drinks and all that stuff. And I chose for school at that point in life, and I did a higher economic school. And after the higher economic school, I needed to start with work, and I just worked for 2 months for a boss. And that was the moment when my mother died, and I understood, okay, this I need to do something else in life. And then from that moment on, I never worked for a boss anymore, and I just started my own company because, yeah, I couldn't face the feelings because of losing my mother. So became a workaholic, built the first company, second company, third company, many other small companies in between, and sold them again. And in the end, then we arrived in 2014. And that is 2014. That was the moment I was on the top of the world again. I lost my mother 10 years before that, and so you build a new future, and you have kids at that point. I had already 3 kids, and yeah, then the next thing in life happened. That is when my father got sick in 2014. He was diagnosed cancer, so he had 1 more year to live. So again, I needed to change life, and that was the last time I wanted to change life. I quickly realized this is not the life I want to live. I don't want to be a workaholic. I don't want to have 20 employees there and 10 employees there. I don't want to have all the stress. I want to be together with my family, the ones I love. Because before you know it, I'm old, I die, I didn't spend the time with my kids that I wanted to spend. So that was the decision. And that's when we started to change life. Yeah.
Yeah. And Didi, what business were you running beforehand?
So I had an IT company. There was 1,700 square meters. There was a hardware store, website development, software development, and we did computer education. So we did all certificates from Microsoft and all the stuff, AutoCAD, whatever certificate you needed in the IT sector. We did that, and then I had another management job for an online casino in Malta. So I was a brand manager for that casino. So I flew a lot as well. Yeah, it all had to do with online business, like it's online in schooling or online casinos. It was all IT. I studied higher economics, but I really quickly realized when I did the first, how do you call it, internship, that I knew so much more about computers than the average person in this company. And I needed to do something with economics and marketing, but I was like, oh guys, you really don't even know anything about Word, about a server. So quickly I became this person in the company that everybody came to when they had a problem with their computer. So I quickly realized, okay, maybe that's my talent. Maybe skip the marketing and just start to serve people more and help them with all the problems and solve them and then ask money for it. So that was a quickly decision. And that's how it evolved from marketing into IT companies and all IT businesses. Yeah. That's also when I started to mine Bitcoins in 2013.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about 2013, your first sort of, taste of digital currency with Bitcoin. Talk about that experience. That wasn't the time, I believe, that you sold everything for Bitcoin, but talk about sort of getting into it for the first time in 2013.
No, it was completely not the time that I went all in, but it was the time that it was I had for my company, I needed this guy to do an internship from school. So this guy came in and he's like, oh, I need to have a subject. Yeah, whatever you want. I was busy, just choose something. And then he told me the story about Bitcoin. And he was like, yeah, it's a revolution. It's going to change the monetary system. It's going to change the world. And you can mine Bitcoins and you become millionaire out of Bitcoins. At that point in life, I was still just on one quest in life, and I was becoming a millionaire before 40, So that sound like diamonds into my ears, like music into my ears. Wow, you become billionaire and a revolution at the same time. So I started to ask this guy more questions, and he was like, let's build some mining systems for this school, for this his internship." So I said, okay, let's do it. So I cleaned out one office. It was about 30 square meters, and I invested about, I think it was 40,000 US dollar at that point in building mining systems. So we went to the store, we bought all the motherboards and everything, and it was like handmade, and we didn't have end miners then yet. So we just built all those mining rigs together with another friend, and that's how we started mining bitcoins in a small office with all problems. We had too much heat, so we needed to find a solution for all the heat. We didn't know how, so we went to the Dutch growers that grow wheat, and we told those guys, "Hey, you have a lot of heat with growing wheat. How do you solve this?" So they taught us how to solve the heat. We implemented the wheat growing um, airflow systems into our mining systems, and that's we just trial and error, and in the end we started to mine bitcoins and Dogecoin and some other cryptocurrency, which was possible at that point. And yeah, that was the complete first start with Bitcoin. That was my introduction. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Were you one of the miners that made a profit long term, or just doing it for fun?
It started as fun, of course, but then you when you become a miner, you become like very competitive. At that point you could join the pools already, but you want to make more bitcoins every day and more dogecoins, and we were switching every day. We could see in the algorithm which coin was more profitable to mine, so we mined millions and millions of dogecoins, yeah, because we thought dogecoin was going to go to $1, like they said on the forums. At the end, we made profit, but because of the 2014 crash, we needed to sell some miners to break even as well, because we got afraid. We were like, wow, this can disappear. It was really cool, the bull run to $1,200, but then it crashed to $200, and we were like, wow, we need to play it a little bit more safe now. So we started to sell some miners, and then exactly that year, 2014, it happened with my father. So yeah, that was the moment I hired managers to run everything, and I just went home living at my father's place again, and didn't care about business anymore. Just wanted to spend every single minute with my father.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so you're, as we talked about, you're most well known for, living this nomadic lifestyle, selling everything for Bitcoin. When exactly did you do this? What did you sell specifically, and at what price?
Yeah. So that was in 2016, after my father died. I did arrange a lot of stuff, and I got a huge burnout. And because of the burnout, I told my wife and my kids, we need to go and travel. I need to go to a beautiful island and have a physical and mental reset. So that was the end of 2016. And during that trip, during the first 3 months traveling in Thailand, we came into Bali in Indonesia. And then in January 2017, a friend called me and he's like, Didi, do you still have your Bitcoins and your Dogecoins? And what are you doing with them? I said, you nothing. I'm on the beach. I'm enjoying life. I don't have a laptop with me. And he's like, check them because the value is going up. And so in the beginning of 2017, the Bitcoin was, I think, around $800 to $1,200 again.
Yeah.
So I started to check my laptop, and I started to see that, the community was growing. I saw the price increasing. I was like, wow, is this revolution still going? Is it still, is it going to happen? Are we going to change the system? So I called my sister to check the laptop in the Netherlands and to check if there was my Dogecoin wallet still on it. And yeah, she answered, yeah, millions of Dogecoins. Then I called the guy that had my paper wallet, because I still had a paper wallet at that time. And he checked the paper wallet, and yeah, still some Bitcoins there. So I started to calculate the profit in the beginning of that year. And I was like, wow, we can pay our whole trip we have been making just from the profits I made from coins. I didn't even think I would ever make profit again. So that one for me was the momentum in the beginning of 2017. I said, okay, now it's getting serious. So um, I walked to my wife. I told my wife, we have been so happy now traveling this couple of months without having any luxury, just the backpacks, no nothing else, and we are completely happy. I've never felt that free and happy before. Why don't we just continue this life? And then my wife's, of course, first reaction is yes. Why and how? And And then we just agreed on like we wanted to lead by example to the kids and show them that it's not about accumulating wealth, but about accumulating happiness in life. And so at that point, I told my wife, I'm going to sell everything at home, and I'm going to buy bitcoins. What do you think about this plan? And of course, her first reaction was like, again, Bitcoin, you already did that and you lost your faith and blah, blah. But we have a lot of good conversations when we have one or two glasses of alcohol. So the conversation changed. And we just decided, yes, let's change life. We need to change life. So I tried to sell my cars and my motorbike and everything in the beginning of 2017 online from Bali. I sold it, bought Bitcoins, and then we flew home. And we just said, let's fly home, sell the house. So the middle of the year, we sold the house. We started to sell all the furniture. We started to sell all the kids' toys. We had to sell the other car we still had left. The kids had their own quads. We had a very luxury life. So we started to sell everything that was materialistic in our life. And on average, we paid, so we started to buy Bitcoin between $800-900 at the beginning of the year. And the last investment was my pension fund when Bitcoin was around $7,000, I think. Yeah. So and then we were all in. So we sold the house in 2 weeks' time because of the media. Hey, which idiot sells his house for Bitcoins? So yeah, we took the house, the profits, we invested in Bitcoin. I sold the companies, we invested in Bitcoin. I took the pension fund, we invested in Bitcoin. I took the kids' savings, we invested it in Bitcoins. I took our own savings, we invested it in Bitcoins. We sold the clothes, the shoes, just literally everything. And then we just went all into Bitcoin.